I have also included in this video the intel that Valnek has allowed me to share on the source of the problem. They were hybrid beings that managed to slip under the Federation's radar after they cleared out the military strongholds.
Today, we are going to show you the security breach video that Megan Rose doesn't want you to see. It's the video she took down, and has tried to hide, after other commentators pointed out that what she was claiming couldn't possibly be true. Fortunately, someone uploaded it to BitChute, so she is unable to hide it. If you have only discovered Megan Rose in the last year or so, you won't have seen this video. It's the video that proves Megan Rose isn't in contact with anyone called Valnek from the Galactic Federation of Worlds. I will say that again, just in case you missed what I said. It is the video that proves, beyond any doubt, that Rose is not in contact with Valnek from the Galactic Federation of Worlds. In fact, she hasn't been in contact with him since November 2021. In case that makes no sense to you, let me explain what happened, and why we know this to be true. And then I will show you the video, which will prove to you that she is no longer in contact with him, and which we were able to save before she removed it. And as further proof that she really did publish the video, here it can be seen, clear as day, being shown on the Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic comedy show in February 2022. In the video that you are about to watch, Rose claims to be passing on a message from Valnek. In the message, sensitive military information, even including clues as to how the breach was apparently carried out, is revealed, about what she claims is a security breach. This should ring huge alarm bells to anyone still paying attention, because military personnel are never given permission to publicly admit to security breaches, especially not in times of war, because it would be a huge admission of vulnerability and weakness. I don't care whether it's from Earth, or outer space, if a military officer openly announces on YouTube, to anyone who cares to listen, including the enemy of course, that his military had suffered a successful security breach, he would be putting the lives of all of his colleagues in serious danger. I mean, when was the last time you ever heard any army officer announcing they had been hacked? It simply does not happen. So, if Valnek really did pass this message on to Rose, he would have been putting all his colleagues' safety at risk, and would have been court-martialed. And, of course, he wouldn't have been allowed to ever contact Rose again. That goes without saying. So if you still believe that Megan Rose is in contact with Valnek from the Galactic Federation of Worlds, you are now in a bit of a conundrum, aren't you? You are going to have to find a way to explain how Rose could still possibly be receiving messages from Valnek, on behalf of the Galactic Federation, when he absolutely would have been forbidden from doing so, if indeed he had allowed her to publish a message, which would have caused an immense safety issue to his colleagues, and would absolutely have been forbidden. And, of course, Rose herself wouldn't be allowed to keep passing messages on behalf of the Federation, as it was her who actually leaked this information. By the way, just for your reassurance, the Federation was not hacked. This was a made-up story. Once you watch the video, you will come to the only logical conclusion, which is that Valnek didn't send any message. Rose made it up herself, after her contact with him was cut in November 2021, after it was confirmed that she had been compromised, and she needed to give the impression she was still in contact with him, which would allow her to still make a living from her channel. I will show further evidence at the end of this video, of Rose's actions herself, which leave no doubt that she is not working for the light. Including the sick joke she made of little people burying people underground. Yes. That's right. She actually made that joke. But in case you don't believe me, I am going to show it to you near the end. If you ever want to watch the full video, it was a user called Max2020 who uploaded it to BitChute, on the 13th of January 2022. Here is the full URL of the video. But today, we are only going to show the most relevant parts here. First we will show Rose herself explaining the breach, and then the actual statement she claims Valnek made. Again, that statement can also be seen in the BitChute video, which proves we are not making this up. So, let's begin, shall we?
I have also included in this video the intel that Valnek has allowed me to share on the source of the problem. They were hybrid beings that managed to slip under the Federation's radar after they cleared out the military strongholds. And I think I've said this, I don't know if I've said this in interviews before, but basically they cleared out the military factions of extraterrestrials, but there were still pockets of them hiding out somewhere. And these were one of them. These were very well-funded hybrid beings who had the money to recreate the technology that the Federation thought they destroyed. So I've included Valnek's update, and the mission is over. And so thankfully it's not, it's safe for me to come back out again. So yeah, I'll be back, and the rest of this video is information from Valnek. So enjoy, guys, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Remember what she has just said here. It is very important to understanding why it is now impossible for her to still be receiving messages from Valnek. She says, the rest of this video is information from Valnek. Let's continue. This is the actual message she claimed came from Valnek, a military officer. Let's look at the parts which a military officer would never be allowed to tell the public, as it would be highly confidential and classified information. First, if this message was actually real, Valnek would actually be admitting that the hackers were partly successful. This is totally stupid. This would never be admitted to. It would give the enemy a huge morale boost. Combined with what gets said next, it also gives potentially isolated pockets of the enemy clues as to how the hacking was successfully done. Because remember, even in Rose's story here, she mentions that there were still pockets of extraterrestrials hiding out somewhere.
But basically they cleared out the military factions of extraterrestrials, but there were still pockets of them hiding out somewhere.
So if that were true, what she claims he says next is even more impossible. Valnek then apparently goes on to give clues to any enemy listening as to how their colleagues had been successful, with the hint that it involved energy weapons, using satellites that emit a frequency, which was technology which they recreated from that which the Federation removed from underground bases. If I was part of a small enemy team, maybe hiding out somewhere, as Rose has just stated, and trying to hack the Federation, I would be laughing my head off right now in glee, thanking Valnek for confirming that some of my buddies had been successful in hacking their security, and also for giving me clues as to how they done it, so that I could also then give it a try. What a load of stupid bullshit this is. Did Rose really think all of her audience would fall for this crap? Anyway, let's continue. As if things weren't already stupid enough, things now get even more hilarious. Rose now has to come up with a reason why the Galactic Federation couldn't intervene earlier. She obviously didn't think her audience were that clever, so thought all she had to do was present the first thing that came into her head. Here it is. Yes. She says that the satellites used to broadcast this frequency were contained on private property, making it difficult for the Federation to intervene. This is the funniest thing I have ever heard. Can you really imagine the Galactic Federation of Worlds running the risk of having their security systems hacked, and possibly suffering a huge loss of life as a result, because someone put a private property sign up? But even if you do believe this hilarious explanation by Rose, and if you actually think that this is true, then Valnek would still be aiding and abetting the enemy by dropping the hint that they go onto private property before firing their satellite. Which, again, would get him in a huge amount of trouble with his superiors, who would absolutely ensure that he would never be allowed to communicate with Rose again. So, either way, it is impossible for Megan Rose to have been receiving any communication from Valnek, authorized by the Galactic Federation of Worlds, after January 2022, when she published this message. Okay, so now you know that Megan Rose hasn't been in contact with anyone named Valnek from the Galactic Federation of Worlds since, in fact, late 2021. Let's take a quick peek at some of the other things she has done, which make us question which side she is on. We will take a more in-depth look at her suspicious actions in a separate video, but for now we will leave you to ponder just a few things. Firstly, would it really be appropriate for someone claiming to represent the Galactic Federation of Worlds, an organization who most likely have lost lives trying to liberate the young from the undergrounds here on Earth, to make a joke in one of her videos, as can be seen in these screenshots, where she says, How many of you have children and your child could bury someone in your backyard and you still love them? And you still think the Galactic Federation are happy to have her as someone to pass messages to? We'll be showing that video in a future video on this channel. Secondly, she used stock images of little people, in a video she posted about the horrible movement of such little people, that we all know about. Do you think their parents would actually have given permission for their faces to be shown in a video about such horrific things? I, for one, certainly do not. And I would have been horrified, and angry, if my little one's images had been used in such a manner. We hope we have given you a lot to think about in this video. But please do not just take our word for things. Come to your own conclusion, based on logical reasoning. And look out for future videos, where we will be showing several more occasions when Megan Rose's behavior can be highly questioned, and where we'll also be asking the question of whether another well-known YouTuber, Tarot by Janine, has been using hypnosis techniques on her viewers, without them knowing.
Like the Queen of Swords, she holds her sword straight up and down because she knows she's right about something, or she thinks she's right about something, and she has really big boundaries. He's willing to listen to things. So there's a willingness with this. He's willing to listen. He's willing to listen.
Look out for more of that, coming shortly. Thanks for watching.